The horse carriage is quite an experience from the cruise to the temple. The traffic can be a little daunting, but this is Edfu, remember? You will pass by the main street and alleys and got to see how daily life is like here. The city of Edfu is between Luxor and Aswan. If you are traveling on the River Nile cruise, either from Luxor to Aswan or vice versa, the cruise will stop at Edfu City. Once our cruise docked at the harbor, we then travel by horse carriage to Edfu Temple. The journey is about 15 minutes by horse carriage. Horse carriage ride seems like one of the major transportation to bring the tourists from the harbor to Edfu Temple. However, they do have tuk-tuk or cab taxi if you do not want to take the horse carriage. What to see in Edfu? Well, the Temple of Horus at Edfu is one of the best preserved temples in Egypt. The temple is located on the west bank of the Nile in Edfu, in the Upper Egypt. The Edfu temple was built in the Ptolemaic period between 237 and 57 BC. It is one of the best preserved temples in Egypt. The temple was dedicated to the falcon god of Horus, the son of Isis and Osiris. The construction of the temple took about 180 years to complete. It is grand, especially at the entrance. The gateway is still in one piece and quite complete as compared to other monuments that I have visited in Egypt for the past few days. The temple is more intact than others, as it was once buried in sand in the desert but later discovered by a French archaeologist in 1860. Horus is probably most well known as the protector of the ruler of Egypt. The Egyptians believed that the pharaoh was the living Horus. In one of the battles, Horus lost one of his eyes. The eyes was restored to him and it became a symbol of protection for the ancient Egyptians. When you proceed inside, you will notice the Temple of Edfu consists of traditional elements of Egyptians and with a few Greek elements. At the colossal courtyard, there are 32 towering columns, and this is where the temple priests made offerings to Edfu gods, surrounded by the town people. The columns are decorated with floral and palm capitals, and the golden hued stone walls are carved in reliefs of the god Horus and Hathor. Hathor is the wife of Horus, the goddess of the sky, of women, and of fertility and love. Hathor has a cow's head and ears. Her principal animal forms was that of a cow. She also has a solar disk between a cow's horn. Our guide pointed to the wall and showed us the symbol of Wi-Fi. He jokes that long time ago, ancient Egyptians already has Wi-Fi with them. Do you believe that? Well, go spot the symbol of Wi-Fi in Edfu Temple. This is the Hall of Offering, where food and drinks were offered daily to the Egyptian god. In this dark chamber, you will find a small wooden boat, but it is only the replica. The original can be seen at the Louvre in Paris. It is used to hold the golden statue of Hathor on the festivals and during processions.
Avec moi, sur les toits, voir la ville qui se noie. Ne dis rien, prends la main, sois docile.
You will also see the high wall is decorated with many battle scenes. Guess what is the most important statue here? Yes, it is the statue of Horus, which is carved in granite stone. Can you spot the pair of Horus? The one on the left-hand side wears a double crown with cone shape. The double crown represented the unification of the two regions of Egypt, that is, Lower Egypt and Upper Egypt. One of the most important symbols associated with Horus is the eyes of Horus, a symbol meant to offer the protection of the gods. You'll find in many of the souvenir stores selling eyes of Horus. They make it into a pendant or earrings. The construction of the temple took about 180 years to complete. It is grand, especially at the entrance. The gateway is still in one piece and quite complete as compared to other monuments that I have visited in Egypt for the past few days. The temple is more intact than others, as it was once buried in sand in the desert but later discovered by a French archaeologist in 1860.
Ça ne changera pas. Oh, tu as laissé dans mon cœur une irrévocable blessure.
This is an agricultural town, but many people seem to live off tourism. I guess it is easier to make money from the tourists. Edfu Temple is backward and dirty. Trash is found all over the city. The horse carriage drivers are aggressive too. They ask for tips and more tips. And that same goes for the persistent salesman when you enter the temple. If you are not interested in buying, don't even try to look. They start yelling anything at USD $1, but when you ask them how much again, they will ask you to go into their shop. Please do not go into their shop. Just deal with them outside. I refused to enter their shop but asked them how much again the item that I was interested in. Once they knew I was interested, they changed their price from $1 to $10. Later, they explained to me that C is $1, buying is at a different price. About the horse carriage, our tour group has already paid for the horse carriage, but still the driver of the horse carriage asked for the tips. I gave him $1, but he asked me to give him $3. They can be quite a hassle, which I don't like. Always prepare small notes when you are in Egypt. They are useful for small tips and toilet.
Mahati Iaiti Makumat